Okay. I think, ooh, are we too loud? Let me turn this down. Testing, test. Okay. All right. I need to get one of those things that say, stream starting, but we're starting. As you can see on the screen, we have a program. Amen. Because we can do the timestamps, but I think a program, like when you go to church, you get a piece of paper and they tell you what's going on the itinerary. So we went ahead and made that for you guys. I really like doing lives. Okay, I really enjoy doing lives because I ain't gonna lie, I just woke up from a nap. I did, but I was like, I gotta do my live. I don't know. I feel like it's an appointment, and it holds a very, I'm supposed to be here. And I feel like it creates this level of accountability because I said I was gonna be somewhere at a certain time and it's tied to my YouTube. So it's all going in there. Like, my mentor actually was the one that brought up streaming to me when she was like, I think you should consider not doing library content. She did. Long story. Let me tell you the story. So, hold on. I'm trying to see if I'm live before I tell y'all the story. It wasn't like a bad thing. Okay, we are live. Okay, so it wasn't like a bad thing. It was just that I was going through a lot, y'all. Like, I was going through a lot. And I feel like those last couple of library videos that we did, girl, I was going through a lot, but I wanted to show you guys what I was going through. You know what I mean? Like, part of me was like, girl, I don't care. And that is how my content can exist. Most people who have the type of jobs that I have or whatever, they don't vlog, and you don't find that type of content on the internet because most people don't vlog their jobs. Nobody ever thinks to do it. You know what I mean? You have to deal with a lot to just have a job, and now you're trying to record your job at the same time, girl. But because I don't care, that is how my content was able to exist, because I literally do not care regardless. And I believe in painting a vivid and honest picture of everything. Do I like this aspect of my life? Yes. But at the same time, like, if you are going to school for a specific thing, then you would want to know everything about it. It's not as wonderful as it's like, there are different dynamics, and that broadcast journalism, like, let's explore those different dynamics. Let's show. I'm a producer, baby. I put on my producer hat, right? I said, let's produce some content. Let's show the people. And it's like, it became a whole show, right? But I got tired of it, because then I started to realize, like, hey, this might not be something that I want to do. Because again, when you look at your life, we're doing our planner. Today, I'm going to walk you through everything. Like, it's all going to go together. I promise. Everything, the stories, everything go together. But like, when you look at your life and things are not the way you had pictured them, you have to take a step back and you have to figure out why. And you have to really be honest with yourself. Like, why do you feel this way about what it is that you're going through, or your life not being the way? You have to take a step back. Let's do some inventory, and and here we are. And I'm glad that I went through what I went through, had those experiences. It's never to be like, oh, these were bad experiences. No. Even when you lose, you win, because if you lose, then you figure out what you need to do to win, if that makes sense. You figure out the correct action steps that are necessary when you start taking the wrong. You know what I'm saying? You making the left turn and GPS is saying, hey girl, make a user, make a user, make a user. And you need to figure out, like, follow the steps. Go back and follow the steps. Today we're going to be working on following these steps. See how they came? See, and I'm doing this off the dome. Like, that's why I'm like live streaming. You know what I'm saying? And here's the other part. As we get into it, am I too loud? Because the thing is going red, and I'm not even loud. I'm sorry if my voice is going out. I literally just woke up from my nap, which is how I know this video is going to hit, because I just woke up. I'd be ready to talk when I wake up. Anyway, as we go on this journey, being open to feedback and being open to the messages that you receive from random people is going to carry a lot. You know what I mean? I believe you can learn from anybody in any situation. Random people. My mentor, who is now the district vibe, right? She was like, have you thought about live streaming? Have you thought about blah, 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 blah? And then she's like, there are people that make lots of money on live streaming. I think that you should consider that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously not live streaming your job, but you know, ma'am, we had a whole conversation about that. And she was not the first person that said it. Another person said it in passing. You see what I'm saying? And so obviously I work with these kids and I'm like, well, what exactly, how does that work? And they start telling me the whole thing. I'm writing it down. Let me write this down, figure out, like, let's just use the information as it becomes available. So you can learn from anybody, and the willingness to learn and the willingness to, like, I don't know, like, I feel like sometimes people feel so up in arms that they don't want to take information. Like, I could be walking down the street, I could be at the park, and if a homeless person come up to me and say something, if it apply, we're going to write that down. We're going to put that in the journal, because you don't know me from a can of paint. And you know what I'm saying? Another thing, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you this story. And then we're going to get into the video. Your girl is, you know, I'm responsible, but not really. I'm responsible, but it's just like, girl, okay. So I needed to get the thing on my car. Like, it has those numbers, the year. I think that's the registration. I don't know. It's been a while before I got it. And this lady I work with, seen her in passing, say hello, whatever. And she was like, don't you drive this car? And I'm like, yeah. She was like, why you haven't got your registration done? And I'm like, it was supposed to come in the mail. I don't know if I told y'all this story, but I was like, it was supposed to come in the mail. Like, I went to the dealership. They were supposed to put it in the mail. She was like, girl, you know you're supposed to get this registration. I'm like, I went to the dealership. And they were supposed to mail it to me. She's like, okay, well, I don't want you to run into a cop and you tell that story and they tow your car. And I was like, but she was very adamant about it, okay? It was a high-spirited conversation. And you know me, I am not going to argue with nobody. I was trying to tell, look, listen, people drive around here with no face plates, no bumpers, all these different things. I'm not really concerned about that. I live on the edge. You know what I mean? Like, how much luck do you have? You know? So but the thing is, like, you don't know when your luck gonna run out. You don't know. Like, God might try to make an example, right? And we don't want to have God to make us an example, because if somebody go out of their way to make sure, right, that I am following the instructions, then we need to make sure we are following the instruction, because she didn't have to tell me anything. Nobody have to, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know, people can be used for negative things. When I say let the Lord use you, some people can be used for negative things. But when people are being used for positive things, people go out of their way, especially in this digital age. We don't feel like we should be really sharing information. Like, that's not my business. We don't want to get in no, you know what I'm saying? Like, she went out of her way to say something to me about this. And so you could have been like, you ain't my business, don't worry about blah, blah, blah. Or I'm like, you know what? Thank you so much for that information. I went ahead and did that online, took care of it, boom, 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 boom. Now, how long is it going to take me to do it again? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We're going to, until God tell us again to do it. But we did it. Girl, we was living out here for like, it wasn't a year. It was coming up on a year, but you never know who you might have in passing, and you never know what could happen you like from one moment to the next. You just never know. So keep all of that in mind. So as we are planning, be willing to take heed to different messages that you get along your path, because that will help you to avoid any, you know, because we can plan, we can come up with a whole scenario of what we want to do, but God, we plan, God laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, we make a rough draft and he's going to go over those edits and different things of that nature. So planning, but also being willing to learn and make a detour if you need to. You know what I mean? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the video. So I have a whole plan, like I have a whole program. Let me know if you like it, because I like the program. I made that, yes, amen. So, hold on. You know, we always got to come up with systems. Put systems in place. We got to put the systems. We got to organize this thing. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me check. Okay, all right. So the first thing you need to do to change your life, we need to do inventory concerning where you are presently. Okay, so let's move on to that. Ooh, did I take that off? Okay, here we go. Ooh, it doesn't work when you're okay, because I'm trying to move it. Oh, here we go. All right, so right now we are at where you are now. And so let me go to this thing that I made. I have a planner that I'm designing right now, and I'm going to show you one of my pages. Girl, I'm sorry. We switch into two different cameras. We got the webcam, regular camera. Okay. So I hope this shows up very well on the screens or whatever. Anyway, so on the worksheet, it's gonna say, where am I now? This is just one of the pages in my planner, but I will allow this to be a freebie, just this page. Because I feel like I put a lot of effort and I did everything by hand. I did not go to Etsy or all these other places and copy from other people. I created my own thing, of course, with ChatGPT. I told ChatGPT what I wanted. And then I conceptualized what it is that I have. You know, if you watch my video that I did in the beginning of the year, how I do my life inventory, this is what we're going to be doing. So we're going to rate our lives from, you know, a different asset, like a different aspect of our life, from 1 to thriving. And then you go into opportunities and barriers, what can be improved. So let's look at that. So obviously right here, you were right, like the different thing. But in my planner that I'm going to release everything in June, but because I got a photo shoot. Girl, let me tell you, we're going to get into everything. Anyway, so you will put hopefully you can see my mouse. If you can't see my mouse, I'm pointing at the part where it says the numbers, but I'm pointing at that empty space there. And it is basically, what aspect of your life are you going to be working on this specific page? There will be different pages. There will be finances, business, career, passion project, and then just blank spaces for things that, you know, you might, everybody not working on a relationship. Everybody's not working on a passion project. Some people just want to work on a job. Some people just want to work on their business. Some people just want to, I don't know what you're working on. So we're just going to start with, you know, I have some preset ones, you know, career, finance, business, family, relationships, but you can fill in whatever it is that you're working specifically. And so you go and you say, well, what is working? Right? What's happening? This is going to be your glows, right? So what's working? What are we doing that's really, really working? And then what can we improve, right? This is going to be your grows. How can we improve this, right? Opportunities. What are some things that we can do? Some systems that we can put in place, okay? Some solutions. What do you think the solution is? And then barriers, you already know how I feel about that. That is your excuse, okay? Why you feel like it ain't working? What is the excuse? This is where you complain and just point the finger. Like, that is the vibe. Okay, so filling that out completely and really being honest with yourself. You know, so when in all my other videos, when I'm talking about doing inventory, this is the type of inventory that I mean. And this is the type of stuff that I do every year, literally. Like, this is May, okay? This is May. Today is May 14th. I like to do things before the time. So if we said we're gonna start changing our life in June to December, we need to plan in May. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if we plan a month before the time that we say we're gonna plan. My birthday is in October, right? So I plan in October for how I want my year to go the following year. And I plan from October to October because I'm counting it from my birthday. I'm not counting it from the year. You need to plan the next year because that's 3 months right there. October, November, December. We have to plan. Okay, strategic planning. That's what I do every day. So we need to do inventory. So when I'm in my video, like inventory, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. What's going on? How do you feel? Where are you right now? What does that look like, right? If there's somewhere you want to be, how do you think you're gonna get there? That is where you're gonna put opportunities. How do you think you're going to get there? And what do you think is keeping you from getting to said place? Okay? So let me go back to the regular stuff. Hopefully this looks good. I was teaching online and in person. I believe every experience that we have in our past prepares us for something in the future. Okay, I told y'all about Harry Potter. Everything they went through, they learned about the solution before they had to go out there and solve the problem. They already had the solution. Now you have to apply the knowledge that you have learned in every movie. Go back and watch the movies every time. Okay, so boom. We talk about where you want to be. Okay, let me go to current self-concept. And we're probably going to spend a lot of time there. Hold on, let me see if this is going to work. Okay, and I hope I'm not going too fast. And I hope that this makes sense because we're just testing. This is day 3, testing this whole system out. And I think that we're doing good. Okay, so boom. Oh, I went on the wrong page. Okay. So we're going to go back to our presentation. Okay. Let me see. Alrighty. So the person you are today. Hold on. What is that? Girl, I know they did not put no PN tree on my thing. Girl, they annoying. Okay. All right. So the next part we have to work on is your self-concept. Who are you right now, right? And then who would you be if you could not fail? All right. We have to take accountability on who we are in this present moment. Are you the type of person that make excuses? Because I am. I'm always hold myself down, even to a fault sometimes, because, ain't nobody gonna have you like you gonna have you. But at the same thing, like, if nobody is gonna have you like you gonna have you, then you owe it to yourself to be the person that you need to be for tomorrow. How can you help your tomorrow self, your future self? How can you put yourself in a better position than you are right now? So you have to be very, very honest with yourself. Like, who are you? You can't say that you want to be the type of person that have black tummy tea and you not making the best choices. Not saying that the same choices, everybody's going to be making the same choices, because everybody have a different body. Everybody have a different digestive system. Everybody has their own concept of beauty and health and wellness. But it's just kind of like, as much as we want to manifest our way into certain things, there is hard work that is necessary. Too much is given, much is required. So you have to be mindful of that. Who do you have to be the person that you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, who do you have to be? It's not about who, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about what you think. It's about who do you have to be? What do you have to do to get what you need out of the situation, right? And so that is going to look different for everybody. And so you need to look at, like, I'm going to have this, but I'm going to go a little bit more detailed in my planner. But it's just going to be like, what type of decisions do you think you have to make? What type of routines do you think you have to be the person? Like, And if you couldn't fail, if you couldn't fail, what will your action steps look like? Because a lot of times we don't take action because we think that we're going to fail. And we are willing to fail because if you fail or if you do nothing, then things will be like what to expect. So if you lose and you remain the same, and you know what I'm saying, like what to expect, you're gonna be doing the same thing you already doing. However, you don't really know what success looks like, and you don't know what it feels like, and there's this fear of failure, but it's really this fear of success because what does that look like? And then some people don't want to be successful because you have to deal with, I was reading this thing on social media talking about Chris Tucker family quit. All of them quit their job when they found out that he was making $20 million. Let me have a sip for that. And so I oftentimes believe that, our success is our family's success. But oftentimes, if you have leeches, then that's not the case. Because what happens when you have a family dynamic that's rooted in, toxicity and just negative vibes, and you're on the line to pay for them. And you do it because you love them, but they see you as a paycheck. And see, what happens when you have those negative aspects, a lot of celebrities have that, is that they achieve this level of success because that is their life path. That is something that was in them. However, they feel this responsibility to take everybody along with them, right? But then when you take everybody along with you, you realize that everybody is not necessarily in your corner. Everybody is just basically seeing you as a paycheck. They need you to, Whitney Houston was taking care of everybody in her family. They knew she had a habit, but instead of saying, hey, I need you to get some help, they did whatever they needed to do to make sure that their rent was paid, that she was going to buy or pay for and handle whatever they needed her to handle. And so if that means she needs to work and this is what she do to get her work done, then hey, whatever it is you need to do to get your work done so I can accomplish my own ends. And so that's why we need to look at our concept of success, because some of us, we don't do our success, or we're afraid of success because we don't want, start cutting people off now. Start cutting them off now. Those same people that don't support you, the same people that talk about you behind your back, or you have mentioned that you want to do something with your life and they have something to say about it, go ahead and cut them off now, because those going to be the same people with their hand out asking for stuff. And you know what? You fresh out, or whatever they asking for, fresh out, baby. I ain't got it. Go ahead and start cutting them off. They're also not going to see your vision. And then it's also going to be a crab in a bucket, right? They can't do nothing. They can't see it. They don't have the prescription plan for whatever it is, and they can't see your vision, okay? And it's not for them to see. It's for you to see. So part of your self-concept is looking at yourself in the mirror through your own eyes and not the eyes of other people, right? Okay, so you need to make sure get them squares out the circles. Okay, get them out, because it's gonna mess with your whole vibe. Anything that is a barrier to your success, most of the time, the barrier to your success, or the barrier to you even choosing to be successful or do something different, go against the grain, is gonna be other people. It's gonna be what other people think, myself included. Speaking from experience, you have to cut these people off. And the other part to that is, a lot of times we value, relationships and friendships. Excuse me, I burped. I'm so sorry. It was a long time coming. We value friendships and family and relationships over our purpose. We want to be successful, but we don't want to be successful if it means losing our friends and our family. We want to take everybody with us. We want everybody to win, because at the core, we believe that, success and abundance is available for everybody. However, in my last video, everybody is not going to get a key. And even if they get a key, their key might not work on your door. You can unlock the door, but they can't unlock the door. It's not for them to go through that door. And so what that means that we're going through different doors. We're going to different destinations, right? If we're going through different destinations, that means we got a different bus stop. Everybody's not riding the same bus. Like, we on a bus, but you got a different stop. You got to get off at your stop. I got to get off at my stop. If I get off at your stop, then that means I got to go do some other stuff. I got to do a connecting bus. I got to walk to another bus stop, and then I might miss the connection because I'm over here, I'm getting off at the wrong stop. I should have got off my stop, and then I can go right to my destination. I don't have to do all the extra stuff. Because you think you can get on a connecting bus, but you don't know that you're going to make that one. You should have just got on the bus that you were supposed to get on and get off at your stop. You see what I'm saying? Does it make sense? I hope I'm connecting. But it's just like, don't fear success or being great because you can't take everybody with you, because everybody is not going to be eating at the table with you. Everybody not going to be there. And that is scary, because that's why they stay as lonely at the top, for real. But it's like, but I can guarantee you that for every connection, for every relationship, and this is me speaking over you, for every connection, every relationship, or every situation that falls away, you will get something better 10 times better, okay? Tenfold, okay? So just keep that in perspective. As bad as you feel right now in the trenches, you're going to feel that much greater, that much happier, that much more fulfilled when you get to your destination. But it starts with looking at who you are now. Are you the type of person to be a people pleaser? Why are you trying to please these people? Why are you trying to No, absolutely not. And then my next part is, who would you be if you could not fail? Really quick, let me look at my regular scene. Your highest and happiest self. And I'm gonna move it to here because we're gonna talk about happiest and imposter syndrome. Okay, we're gonna talk about that really quick. Let me have some water because I don't know where this came from. I know why my voice is like this. I was at work today and the kids were really annoying at dismissal duty. And I was yelling at them because they aggravating, girl. They get on my nerves. And if my hair is like that, it's because I took a nap. Anyway. Another thing I like about not being live or being live is like it releases that fear of perfection. Okay, so go into your happiest and your highest. If you could win, right? If you could win, and if you could write your own, like say we're on Sims, okay? Say you're on Sims, but you're doing Sims for life. When I was younger, Sims was my favorite thing. I like the idea of being able to create an avatar and live within a simulation and make things happen the way I wanted them to happen. I kind of stopped after I was like, 12, 13 years old because, social media, I was like, I'm going to live my life, period. But I like the concept of being able to create an avatar and write down the specific traits and my outfit and everything. You need to do that with your life, right? So you, as your highest version of yourself, what are you wearing? What's your favorite fragrance? How do you wear your hair? Where do you go every day? What do you do every day? What do you think about? What are you eating? You know what I'm saying? Like, design your entire life. I'm going to have that in my planner. But design your entire life. What kind of job do you have? And what kind of apartment do you live in? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much money are you bringing in? What makes you happy? Design it like it's a Sims game. Okay? A Sims game. A whole new algorithm set. Okay? If you couldn't lose. And I know you're probably like, who am I to do this? And that's why I have imposter syndrome. And I put B. Joanna the scammer. It's my personal theory. In a world where you can be anything, literally anything, new people come out of the woodworks with a whole new identity. Create your own identity and be that. Be the imposter, if you will. No, of course, don't make bad choices, don't scam people and stuff like that, but you need to start thinking about your life, right? And the design of it and your whole trajectory, the whole path. You need to start thinking about it from that, excuse the noise, from that angle. Who could you be if you could not fail? If you could sit up here and dream about anything, dream a dream that you ain't got to wake up from. You know what I mean? A life that you never have to escape into a video game, a social media, or anything like that. What do you need to do for that? You know, so design it. All right. And that's starting with the end in mind. Now, I will say 6 months, depending on how hard you're working, it can be done. We're starting in May. Today is the day. Today is the day. Today is May 14th. It's the day before the 15th, right? So you got 15 days to plan, right? June, you start working. That's the way I'm looking. That's how my mind works. I'm gonna release the video. We're doing a video right now, May 14th. Okay? Look at my math. May 14th. It is what? 31 days. Okay? Period. 31 days. You have half of this month. Then you got June, July, August. You got all this time to get it done. We doing the pre-work right now. Okay? So who do you have to be? If you don't know the answers to these questions, they have something called Chat GPT. That's what they have. You need to get on there and ask ChatGPT to redesign my life. You know, I would say, this is a prompt off the dome. Hey girl, how you doing? I'm talking to ChatGPT. Hey girl, I am trying to change my life today. And I need for you to design a 6-month life redesign plan to be this person. And so you're going to say, I want to be the type of person. Well, first of all, I want to be this. Who do you want to be? What do you want to be? And I want to have these experiences. I want to have these experiences. I want to have this car. I want to have this apartment. I want to have these types of relationships. I want to meet these types of people. What do I need to do to get this done in 6 months? What are some action steps to that? Write me a script. And here we go into affirmations. Affirmation. Go watch my video on creating affirmations. And go watch some other videos about, you know, having ChatGPT to write you a script of your new life. Why is that important? Because when you are sleeping, okay, and listening to these things on a subconscious level, you start to reenact and act in the way you need to act. Affirmations, music, affects you on the subconscious level. A song has lyrics, it has a melody, it has notes, and they all work together to convey a message and a specific, very specific, you know, energy and whatever it is that you're listening to. It doesn't matter what it is. You take on or you embody that energy. Like if you're listening to Single Ladies and you want to dance because it has an up tempo, right? But if you listen to Not Gonna Cry, you feel some type of way. You packing his stuff up right now. Okay, that relationship is over, period. Like it's the anthem. Soon as you hear One Time for the 999 and the 2000s, you know what time it is. It's time to get real athletic. They give you a break and then we get right into it, right? Let's get it popping, you know. So music, the energy, it all coincides. So if you say, hey, ChatGPT, write me a story of the version of myself that is blah, 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 that is also quantum leaping right there. Because, you know, I believe, I don't know what you believe, but there is a version of yourself at different levels, right? There's a version of you that has already done whatever it is that you wanted to do, okay? We need to increase the likelihood that you would be successful by speaking over yourself, which is why I haven't released any affirmations. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I believe in the power of voice over yourself, because you can allow other people to speak over you, but the most powerful voice is your own. You're more likely to believe it if you said it in your own voice. You said it. That's you. You have the key to your own door. So you speak over yourself. Okay? The best things that are done are when you do it yourself. Okay? So you ask ChatGPT, write me a script of the highest version of myself. Who is this? You have to be specific. Okay? Don't leave nothing to chance. Write it all out. Script it all out. Be very detailed, very explicit. You need to really say exactly what you want in your script. And if it ain't right, hey girl, how you doing? I need you to revise this to include XYZ element of P. I do that all the time. So that's great, girl. However, I need you to revise this to include. Can you make the verbiage? Can you make this more inspiring? You can even ask ChatGPT from this perspective of an African-American woman, and it will do that. It will do all of that. Use the technology for what it's for, okay? Use it to the best of your ability, okay? Create those affirmations. Create those affirmations. Listen to them on a regular day basis, morning, noon, and night, overnight. At nighttime, that is a subconscious level. It's going to get embedded into your subconscious, and you will find yourself doing things, right? That are, girl, like you'll find yourself doing the things that you need to do to get there. Because sometimes we can be like, okay, what do I need to do? You know you need to do something. You know you're supposed to be taking these action steps. You know that you're supposed to be making these certain decisions. You know you're supposed to be cutting people off. You're supposed to be doing all of these different things, but you're not doing it because you're blocking it. You want to do it, but you're blocking yourself. So we have to figure out a way to unblock ourselves, and affirmations is going to help you do that. Even though you're not saying the affirmations over and over and over again, you are listening, even if it is in the background, which is why when you start doing stuff like this, what I'm telling you about these affirmations, you have to be careful with the type of music that you listen to, because you're always manifesting, even if you wasn't doing the affirmations. Have you ever noticed that, you know, the type of music, like when you listen to music about, I always use this example. I need to find another example, but you know, on the weekend, are those the type of relationships that you want in your life? You know what I'm saying? When we listen to those sad songs, when we listen to, it has a catchy beat, but it have all that situationship. Like if that's not the type of relationship that you're trying to call into your life, and you're a spiritual girly, then you have to be very cognizant of the things that you are, you know, bringing into your realm, especially now, because today's music, like, listen, the people who create music have always known what it is. Okay, they know exactly what it is. So you have to be more vigilant in what you are allowing into your space. It's not saying that we can't do a little turn up, because I love a little turn up, but we turn up when it's time to turn up. When we're trying to change our lives, then we have to be dedicated to the situation. And so when you create your affirmations, when you even make a playlist, you can make a playlist of the type of life that you want, period. I have multiple playlists that bring in different types of energy. You can do that as well too, you know, because you might not want to listen to your affirmations all the time. You might not be extreme like I am. You know what I'm saying? You can create playlists. Okay, you can create a playlist that coincides with what it is that you're trying to bring into your life to support your affirmations. Because what I do is my affirmations at night, but during the day I listen to my playlist when I'm like going to work, coming home from work, If I have a quiet time in the day, I might, you know what I'm saying? Have some water, girl, because I was really yelling today. Woo. Woo. But yeah, you can really, use that. Use those affirmations to help you become the highest end versions of yourself, because it's going to help you unblock yourself. Because you can write down on a planner like, hey, I'm supposed to be doing this because I know that this is going to lead me to where I want to go. But if you never make those choices, you choose not to make those choices every day, then it's your fault when you're not where you want to be. But some of us, like, sometimes it's so easy to make the bad choice because you know what to expect when you are doing the same thing every day. You know what to expect, right? You know what it's going to be. It's going to be, but you don't know what it's going to be on the other side. And then the other part to that is, like, I feel like we're so afraid of failure, so afraid of not having our needs met because we didn't get our needs met in the past, so afraid of things like making an embarrassment of ourselves. Like, it's okay for other people to make an embarrassment of themselves. Like, that's how I be feeling personally. Like, it's okay for other people to be embarrassing, to be cringe and everything like that. But for me, it's just like, oh my God, I don't want to be cringe because I feel like I've always been judged for being different, having different viewpoints. So what if people don't like what I have to say? What if people don't vibe with my energy? Like, you know what I'm saying? What if nobody shows up? Because I've been in situations where people say they're your friend, but they don't show up. They don't, you know what I'm saying? All of these different things. But the thing is, you have to set the table up. Whether people are going to come to the table or not, you have to set the table up and you have to be ready, And part of being, in front of people, yeah, you're going to cringe. We're making different choices. We're trying out different things. And I'm super proud of myself. If you need inspiration, girl, I'm your inspiration. We're trying different things. Early in the year, we tried shorts. We did different type. We're pivoting our content from doing the easy thing. The easy thing is to just vlog my life. Even though I wasn't at the time happy with my life, I still vlogged it. And I was able to create art out of something that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just mundane. It was the easy thing to do, though. It was easy. So I did the easy thing. And I knew what to expect because it was easy. It was regular. Now we're doing something different, something that we might not see, we just don't see it. Interactive, self-improvement, like, Yeah, so it's just kind of like, but you have to take those chances. You miss the chances you don't take because you never shot the ball. So yeah, you wasn't going to get that. You knew you wasn't going to get it because you never picked up the ball and you never shot it. So yeah, you failed that. You never picked up the pencil. You never wrote your name on the paper. You just kind of showed up and left. No, you didn't do it. So you get whatever you got because you didn't do, and you knew when you was going to get that though. You don't know when you start circling stuff, you don't know, because I don't know what's on this test. We don't know what's on the test. We just doing the best we can. If you don't pick up the cards, you're not gonna win because you didn't play the game. We got to pick up the cards. You have to maneuver it. You see, based on what you were given, right? And so that's part of it, y'all. But my dog, my dog is like hyper aware. My dog be like, it's only two of us here. Okay, it's only two of us, and you're talking, and you're not looking at me. I am concerned. Ooh, my dog been here before, y'all. She been here before. She's like, I gotta check on you. Because you talking, but I'm the only one in here, and you not looking at me. I think she gets the camera, but I think she's also like really spoiled. But anyway, in a world where you can be anywhere, anything that you want to be, sit down. I love this dog. In a world where you can be anything, I'm gonna go to Joanna's. Look, be who you want to be, because who's gonna check you? Who's going to check you? Anybody that does not Not saying that we should do this because it's not healthy, but at the same time, it's like if you're trying to make positive changes to your life and you're in a situation where people are always talking down on you and not believing in you, you have to cut them off. Sometimes you have to go into your cave and do your thing by yourself, and you can't be afraid of being by yourself. Sometimes we stay in situations or relationships because we feel like we have to, maintain these relationships. The maintaining of a relationship is better than the loneliness, because we don't know what to expect in the loneliness. Some people can't sit by themselves. They can't sleep by themselves. They can't sit in silence. They don't know who they would be outside of the relationship. They don't know who they would be outside of these certain circumstances or who is around them, because they rely on everybody around them to tell them who they are. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you can't make changes right there. You can't make the changes because you depend on everybody else. And so if you come up with this idea and somebody tell you it's not going to work, then you believe them, because you don't believe nothing outside of other people. So you have to learn how to be the lone wolf. I like being by myself. It's my vibe. I'm working on it. I'm working on not being a loner. But at the same time, there's strength in that, because I don't need other people to tell me who I am. I don't need to be a part of anybody's social group. The thing I used to hate when I was in college, and I didn't realize I hated it until it just was always a thing. Like when you're booking a trip or whatever, you trying to go somewhere, a party, it doesn't matter what it is, relying on other people to tell you what the move is. Like, I don't need you to be the party for me. I am the party. The party starts when I get there. You understand? I don't care. You know what I'm saying? You have to rely on who's the top dog or who's the most popular person and all this other stuff. Girl, I don't care. I do not care. I literally do not care. And it's very important for you to get that type of self-worth, self-confidence, self-concept. Okay? Because if you're always relying on other people, then you'll never be how can you be yourself? We always say be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. But how can you be yourself if you're always being influenced by not just the people, but the societal norms around? Like, how can you really be yourself? Like, is that really what you want? Is that really who you are? Who are you? We can never answer that question. So you have to really dig deep. Like, who are you when nobody's watching? Who are you when there's no one around? Would you still make those same choices? Excuse the noise. Would you still make those same choices? Would you still listen to the same type of music? Would you still go to these certain places? What are your interests outside of other people? I know it gets deep. It gets deep. So when we talk about strengths and weaknesses, we all have faults. Okay? We all have faults. And I'm going to move this to the middle. I wrote this on my phone and copy and pasted it. I didn't proofread it. You have to be honest with your strengths and weaknesses. For example, my strength is that I have amazing ideas. I feel like sometimes my ideas can be ahead of their time. Like, I have notebooks full of ideas and different things, but I don't do a good job at following through. Following through is not always my best suit, because, I get an idea, I might implement the idea, but I might not hit you with the full force, because I'm not, I don't know if this is the best idea. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to hit you right away with the whole force. I'm going to hit you with a little bit, just a little bit, right? But that creates a barrier, because if I would have hit you with the whole force and went on and knocked you out, you see what I'm saying? It might have had a different impact versus just, sprinkling a little salt, just do, So it's just like, and then also, if we don't hit with the full force and we feel like it's not successful, well, you didn't hit it with the full force. You kind of just threw the ball like that. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't really, so no, you wasn't going to get no home run with that. You wasn't going, you didn't throw it right, So it's just like, we have these ideas, but we don't fully implement the idea because we're not as confident as we should be for the idea. You have to believe in the idea, whether other people believe in the idea. You have to, like, being the first one to have an idea, it's kind of hard because it's like, dang, I'm the first one to have an idea. And then so you have to deal with the fact that people might not, they don't get it. They don't get it. You know, and so you're like, dang, nobody gets my idea. Nobody understands my idea. So is this idea worth implementing? Because there's no one here to blah, 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 blah. You know, and that goes to my other point of being an imposter or whatever. It's like, if nobody knows who you are, you can be whoever you want to be. You can create your own narrative. You can shift your identity because nobody really knows who you are. Scorpio moon. Scorpio moon, girl, you can shift the entire landscape because you can change your hair as many times as you want. You can go to a different city. You can go to a different vibe. You can go wherever you want to go. You can change your number. You can change your social media. You can do all these different things and create a new narrative around yourself. You can be the imposter. You can be Joanna. You can be Anna. You can be whoever you want to be in a world where you can be whoever. You can craft your own narrative. That's what people do when they go to public school. Crafting narratives around people. Who are they? Nobody knew who they were until somebody told them, oh, this is so-and-so, so-and-so. You can be your own publicist. You can be your own, you know what I'm saying? You can be your own thing. Hook it up. We have ChatGPT, girl. Get on there and say, hey, girl, what do I need to do to be this person? Be whoever you want to be. Not saying that you need to be somebody outside of yourself, but if you're living a life that you are unhappy with, create and design the life that would make you happy. We live in our lives right now, working our 9 to 5s or doing things that we don't really want to do. Like, we're not really living. We're just waking up every day. You know, we need to craft lives where we don't have to escape. We don't have to scroll on social media. We don't have to, play video games or watch TV and everything and live vicariously through other people when we can live our own lives. And that starts with planning it. So knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, we need to maximize our strengths. Okay, so for me, knowing that I come up with these ideas, we have to come up with ways to make implementing our ideas as easy as possible. Everything needs to be easy. We have to show up every single time, and whether people are watching, it doesn't matter. Like, we have to do the idea, period, because it's going to help somebody. We have to believe. I have to believe that even if nobody is watching it right now, it will help somebody. It will. Even with my voice halfway gone, because I was yelling at kids today. Yes, it is going to help somebody. It is going to help. We're giving you the key, baby. I'm giving you your key. The thing is, though, I cannot unlock the key. I can't unlock your door. I can just give you a blueprint so that you can unlock your own door. You see what I'm saying? It's not a master key. It's just a blueprint so that you can find your key, so that you can get wherever it is that you feel like you need to be. You need to look at your strengths and your weaknesses. We all have strengths. We all have weaknesses. Some of us, we need to look at our, when I say opportunities and barriers, what are your excuses? What are the barriers that prevent you from being the person or doing the action steps? Because a lot of times people give you theory, but this plan that I created is all action steps. Okay? We ask a question and we get the action steps. We do the action steps, which is why we have a SMART goal, actionable steps, and a habit tracker. Because as long as you are making tangible actions toward the thing, they tell you that as long as you are making decisions within alignment, right? Making decisions, taking action steps within alignment, then you will get what you're supposed to get off of those decisions. If you are making bad choices, then you will get whatever those bad choices lead to you. But if you make good choices, the problem is we don't know the good choices. Or maybe we do know the good choices, but we have things that keep us from making good choices. How can we minimize any barriers? So anything that you wrote down, there was an excuse. How can you minimize that? For me, girl, We start things, but we stop things. Why are we stopping things? Because it gets hard, or life gets hard. Life getting hard is probably the number one thing. As soon as I be like, hey, I want to do this, then I start doing it, life gets hard. I said I wanted to take social media seriously this year. Girl. I said I wanted to take social media seriously this year. We had a mental break at work. We had one. We did. It was a long time coming, but we did. We had one, and then we had to get on prescriptions. Mother is going through surgery. Family stuff. Things hit. Things hit. And they not hitting like with just like a little shove. No, they are knocking you clean across the floor. Right? And you got to get up. You got to get up. And you picture myself, like I just got knocked out. And I'm like, girl, you got to get up. What's the new solution? What we got to do? What we got to do? Okay, pivot. What we got to do? What we got to do? Then let's brainstorm. We still supposed to be doing social media. I don't care. We supposed to be doing it. So I don't care what happened. What we supposed to do? Now we doing live, because I'm not editing no videos, girl. We don't have time. We ain't got time to edit the video. We gotta on the spot, girl. We gotta get up and we gotta make it happen regardless of what happened to us in our life. We have to. Voice gone. Can't talk. I'm gonna get on here anyway. Sleepy every day. After work, I take my nap. I take a nap. I do every night. Girl, I would have took my nap, took a shower, and go to work tomorrow. Yes, every day. But I don't care. I made an appointment. My appointment said we supposed to be getting on live, and that's what we're doing. You have to pivot. It doesn't matter what happened to you. I don't care what happened, because I can guarantee you, as soon as you make a choice to do something in your alignments, seem like you are going to get tried and tested. So you have to come up with a new system. You have to be ready to maneuver. You tried to get me. I had to duck it, and I had to hit you with the 1-2. Butter biscuits. That's what we have to do. You have to maneuver it, because you just don't know. Like, you can wake up today and be like, hey, I'm finna go do this, this, and this. You don't know what happened from the moment you walk out the door. You might not even make it out the door. You don't know from one moment to the next. So you have to be willing to, put systems in place, put something in place to deal with a detour. Okay? What are the barriers? How can we fix the barriers? Like, what can you do to minimize your excuses? There is no excuse. It is easy to get on live for me. It is so easy. I was like, wow, I could have been doing this the whole time. This is crazy. Amazing. I'm going to get on live. I don't care. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. Like, you have to find the easiest way, because if it's easy, then you have no choice not to do it. If it's convenient, you have no excuse not to do it. So make whatever it is, the action steps, the habits, everything you need to do, make it easy for yourself, right? And if you don't think that you're going to be able to do it, if you're fighting it, first of all, if you're fighting it, do you even want it? That's the question. If you are fighting yourself to do the thing that you say you want to do so that you could be the person that you want to be, do you even want to be that person? Is that really what you want? Because it seems to be resisting. We have resistance, and you are resisting. So it's important to make sure that the things that you want and the type of person that you want to be, or whoever you want to be, that it is true to you. And it's not something that you saw on social media. That is very important. Because if you are trying to create a narrative about yourself based on somebody else from the outside looking in, there might be some things that they're going through that you don't necessarily want to deal with. So you have to always ask for, 1, discernment. 2, you have to ask for your highest good, everything happening for your highest good, to your highest alignment, and for your highest purpose. to do whatever it is that everybody got a different role that they're supposed to play in their life. You know, I hate to say all the world's a stage, but it's kind of true a little bit. You know what I mean? It's kind of true, but it's just like, you have to make sure that what it is that you want is really what you want, you know, and you have to make the actions necessary to get there. If you don't know the actions, talk to ChatGPT. She got it. But also meditate, right? And then also the other thing is, like, again, those affirmations, because that is what I do. I find myself, even when things get hard, I listen to my affirmations overnight and different things. I get a new idea. I get a new inspiration. I subconsciously want to do, I don't care what's going on, because it's easy for doubt and just, you know, those negative programming to just come up and say, hey, are you sure that's what you want to do? Are you sure this is working out? Because you're not getting the views like you was getting on the other thing. Like, are you sure that this is the best move for you? Is this the best option? Because it seems like every time you try to do this, something bad happens. So do you think this is a good idea? Do you think that this is the best thing for you? Like, do you think this is a good look? It's easy for those voices to pop up. It's easy. It's so easy. So you have to be ready to fight that. Have to be ready to fight that on every stand. Like, I don't care what happened. I don't care come blankety blank or high water. Amen. I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. I don't care. I don't care if I ain't got no voice. I am going to show up. And I like that, because I made an appointment. I like the fact that I scheduled a thing and it say schedule. I like that. I like scheduling stuff. I noticed that about myself. I really like that. That's a strength. I can make an appointment. And see, that is a new thing. I already knew that I was good at making appointments, but the fact that I made an appointment for YouTube, that has opened a new thing for me, because that is a new thing. Girl, I can't go because I have an appointment. Whole time the appointment is YouTube. I can't come. I can't go. I have an appointment. I'm so happy about this. You have no idea. But it's just kind of like, girl, I forgot what I was just talking. I forgot my point. But we have to take actionable steps. So when you talk about SMART goals, okay, it needs to be specific, measurable. What is the other one? Action oriented. I don't know, but I have it in my planner, and I don't think I made a copy. So I'm gonna Google it really quick. I should know this. SMART goals. I know we do this for work, but do it for your life, and I promise you. Okay, so specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. I'm gonna put specific notes on time bound. So if you're trying to change your life, we're gonna do check-ins at, today is May, and we're starting right now doing our SMART goal. So we're gonna do, by the end of the year, December 14th, we're going, because we gotta plan for next year, right? So by the end, we're gonna say by the December 14th. So by December 14th, we will have done something. I don't know what you're trying to do, girl, but by the end of December 14th, you did something. We're gonna just do one, okay? 6 months. Just do one or two. But if you're struggling to just do one thing, excuse the lighting because the sun is going down, but just do one thing, okay? And so I'm gonna give you some, because I don't want this to be so theoretical, right? I don't want to give you like something that's so theoretical and different things of that nature. So let me just give you some ideas. Okay, so we're talking about SMART goals, and I'm gonna talk about actionable steps, and I'm gonna hit all of that at the same time, and I'm gonna give you a very specific thing. So most people that say they want to change their life, say you want to improve. I'm sorry, I can't talk. You want to improve your living circumstances. The first thing you need to do is get a better job. Okay, some people, I need to get a raise. No, you need to get a different job, because sometimes the people I don't like begging. I don't like begging. But here's the thing. If you try to get another job, they will give you a raise at this new job, because you're going to tell them, this is what I want. Excuse the lighting. It got dark out of nowhere. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But anyway, if you go and be like, I want another job, you're going to get a higher salary from that. Okay, you're going to get it. And then if the people want you there, then they will give you a raise. But I am a job hopper, so I know that you'll get better circumstances at a new job. Why am I talking about getting a better job? Because a job has a direct effect on your livelihood, the lifestyle. So you say you want to live a certain type of lifestyle, then it's easier to get the lifestyle when you have a better job. You're more likely to meet the type of people that you spend the most amount of time with, so you need a better job. You're more likely to expand your network when you have a better job and you're in a better neighborhood. Your lifestyle, everything, your job affects all of these different things. The type of people that you spend your time with, the type of people that you are around every day, the energy that you have every day, a better job. If you get a better job, you can get a better apartment. You get a better apartment, then you can change your whole circumstances. Okay? Starts with a better job. Say you have your own business, right? You want to get your own business and different things of that nature. You know, some people, they get the grassroots, but say you need investors, a better job. A better job, networking, being able to network with other people, being able to be comfortable in certain types of rooms and environments. It requires you to have these social skills, because some people believe that, you know, you have to have the education, you have to have the expertise and the know-how, but really all you have to do is be able to go in there and to sell to the people, and they will buy. Exactly. So it starts with putting yourself in better circumstances, and that is going to start with your job. So if you have a job and you're working fast food or anything like that, get a better job. Change your resume and walk the talk. Walk the walk, talk the talk. Watch videos on selling luxury and whatever the case may be. Practice it in the mirror. Affirmations. Burn some candles, baby. I'm going to talk about that in the ancestor video, okay? And whatever you want is yours. Whatever it is that you want is yours. I don't really care about what people are talking about. It's hard to get a job. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that it's hard to do anything. That's not the reality that I live in. But if you want to make tangible change into your life, first thing you want to do is get a better job. Say you already have a job and you like your job. Okay, but you want to work on your passion project. You need to get something where you have the time to dedicate to your time audit. How much time are you spending doing what you need to do? What is it that you even need to do? This is something that I was looking at. Like, I thought that creating content took a lot of time, and it gave me anxiety because, you know, I felt like I didn't have time to do all of these different things. I ain't gonna lie, the lighting is bothering me, okay? The lighting is bothering me because the sun is getting ready to go down and everything, like 6:38. So anyway, I just felt like I just didn't have enough time. But when I started looking at how much time I really had and start taking audits, and then I ain't gonna lie, at work, sometimes we're inserting ourselves or taking on things. Like sometimes you don't really mean to take on stuff. People bring it up and you automatically want to help them because they brought it up. But you don't have to be the first one to jump in. Protecting my time, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we're building something outside. So whenever I feel like I'm frustrated, whenever I feel like too much is going on or things are racing or just I feel dysregulated or whatever the case may be, I was like, did I insert myself somewhere where I wasn't supposed to insert myself? Did I do too much? Like, I was doing too much today. That's why I ain't got no voice. But we gonna have a voice by the end of the week. Trust me, by the time we get back on this video, next time we're supposed to be here, we will have our voice because we're not going to be doing too much. We're not. We're going to step back. We're going to step back and let the other people handle it. Yes. We're laying those burdens down. You understand? The cross, we got to lay it down. You gotta lay it down, period. So making sure, like, if you have a job and you just want your job to be better, setting those boundaries. And sometimes you don't have to communicate those boundaries. You just kind of just do it. It is what it is. All right. So, all right. SMART goal, actionable steps. I just gave you the key. Say you want a better life, get a better job. Okay. Now, the better job will depend on like what you want to do specifically. But say you don't want a job. Girl, that's a ChatGPT thing, right? That's a ChatGPT. You got to figure out. And then the other part is like, say you want to be a stay-at-home, right? Thing is, that can happen, but you have to think about, are you going to be the person, when we did the person, who are you? Are you going to be the type of person that is going to depend and allow someone else to dictate your circumstances? You know what I'm saying? That is a lesson that I had to learn, for real. Like, are you going to allow someone else to dictate your life? Because right now, you can go from a 9-to-5 and your 9-to-5 is dictating your entire life. But you go to a man and he's going to dictate your life. Just say, because it's not always like that either. But it's just kind of like, for me, I'm about creating true freedom. And that is very important. That is a lesson I had to learn within myself, that freedom is important. I don't want nobody telling me what to do. Not at all. I don't want to be dictated. I want to do what I want to do when I get ready to do it. Okay? Within my own system. Within my own, you know what I mean? So that is something that you have to look at. You know, because you might be praying for something like, hey, I want this type of relationship. You know what I'm saying? But you get in those type of relationships and they don't work out because at your core, that's not really what you want. So that is an example of, you have to make sure that what you're asking for, that's really what you want. Because I was like, why is this not working out for me? Because that's not what you really want, girl. That's not who you are. That's not who you are. It's not. Okay? So you can get whatever you want. I believe that you can get whatever you want. But if that's not who you are at the core, it won't last long. And so I'm all about long lasting. And then the other thing is, when we're talking about manifesting and changing our life, 6 months, you could probably do one thing in 6 months. Okay? You do one big thing for 6 months and then you refine and adjust. It's important to note that everything is not going to come quick. Everybody like to do microwave manifestation, want everything quick, and that is not how it works. You have to be willing to go through the trenches. You have to be willing to put the work in. You have to be willing to put the time in. If you want the Michelin, you got to cook it. You have to marinate the meat. You cannot just sprinkle a little something and cook it right away. It's not going to give. Now, if you want McDonald's, go down there and get it in literally 5 to 10 minutes. But if you want something robust, you're going to have to put some time in there. You know, a lot of times we think that people are successful overnight, but it takes them, 10 years to be what you see right there. It's so much, it's the development. Okay, development. That's why we don't have, good celebrities right now, because they don't have that development of character, development of communication, development of just development, girl. Decorum. There's some things you're not supposed to be saying, girl. That's not that. You know what I'm saying? No training. They're not trained. Amen. So it's just kind of like, you have to be mindful of that. Okay. Okay, I feel like I went over how to change your life. I will be having a planner. It will come out in June. And I will have a freebie. The freebie is not done. I'll have the freebies done at the end of the month. I'm looking at my calendar. In my living room, I have really big, like, wall calendars, like this big, on anchor chart paper. And I look at that. Like, I'm sitting on my couch and I just sit there and look at all the things I have to do, and I get it done. Like next weekend. I'm in the closing. Hold on. We're closing this out, baby. Okay. Yeah. We're at closing. So I have anchor charts, right, where I just write down the month and I write down all the things I have to do, my goals for the month. Every time I do a new, look, don't laugh. My toxic habit, my toxic trait is every time I come up with a new initiative, I get a new planner. So I showed y'all this planner in my, I have a binder over there. I'm going to take my binder and put it into this planner because I want something that I can take with me to the park and take with me because, you know, it's going to be summer. So I'm planning my summer. I only have like June and then maybe 3 weeks of July to really go hard the way I want to and then like get my systems together so that I know what works for me. I think that going live is working for me. I'm just trying it out for this month because we really don't have a choice. And because it's so easy to do, we will continue this. We will. But, and I just like how personable it is. You know what I mean? And I don't have to edit. And you know, I'm lazy. So we have to make things convenient. If you know you're lazy, baby, make whatever you need to do lazy girl friendly. And you have to. But I have a whole wall of calendars and I get a new planner and I'm gonna do my inserts. I got this off of eBay, in case you're worried. Like, I got it off eBay. You can search what I said, checker grid. And I was watching this lady for a minute because I was gonna get it last year, but I got it this year, and so this is good. My other it says checkered, and it comes in the brown if you're thinking about it. Okay, look on eBay. About $30-$40. Anyway, so yeah, and I have another one. I want to show it to y'all. I got that one on my website. If you find me on Instagram and you ask me, I'll tell you. Anyway, I'm gonna go get it so you can see it. Hold on, y'all. I want to show it to you. Excuse me. I was fine, you guys. Okay, I had to hop over my couch. Anyway, I hope I wasn't too loud. All right, so this is my other one. But this one is a personal wide, and I really like the A5. And so when I was ordering them, I thought that they would be, you know. So I like both of them. It's just that, you know, the personal wide is just not big enough for like the type of planning that I'm doing for my YouTube channel. And then the binder is just regular. It's a regular binder, but it's just, I don't know. Sometimes I be at work and I'm planning and I'm doing my thing, and I don't like people in my business. So I need something a little smaller. You know what I'm saying? Something a little smaller, something a little more, you know, quaint. You know what I'm saying? To do my planner. But I keep a planner, I keep a calendar so I can keep time of keep track of the times and the weeks and the months and everything like that. And what I like to do is I like to look at all the different months side by side to really see where are we currently and what do we need to be doing to get to where we need to be. Okay, and really looking at like how much time are we spending on one task. If you're spending too much time on one thing and it's not working, then you have to move on to another thing. Do the easy things first, hard stuff. Like I did my website already, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Okay, so I'm gonna have a website up in June. Probably I have my photo shoot on the 24th. The lady is really good that does my pictures. If you're in the Houston area, I love Tiffany Couture. I love her so much. She's gonna do my pictures. I have this theme. I'm not gonna tell y'all the theme, but I love the theme. If you can, like, you could probably figure it out. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna do that on the 24th. So that's next weekend, which is why we don't have it. You know what I'm saying? Like my grandmother has been in town for 2 weeks. She leaves this Friday, and I'm trying to debate on whether or not I'm gonna go drive to see her one more time before she goes back to Mississippi. And so then I have my photo shoot on the 24th. So boom, we have to do live. So that's how I was like, dang, we got to do live because we got all this stuff coming up. Then in June, we'll have more leeway. We're probably going to figure out a live schedule. I think I want to do lives 3 times a week. But I also want to do short form content, get my Instagram together, get my TikTok. If TikTok is still working, I want to get that together, and just get that done in June. The website will be done probably the first or second week in June, and then we'll have our digital products. I'm doing digital products now, so when I'm not on live, I am doing digital products. I am trying to get my stuff together, so hopefully we'll have freebies together, but the website not going to be up, so you're probably not going to get the freebie until June anyway. So I don't know why I'm tripping on it. So sometimes when I'm doing my time management, I really be like, dang, I got a lot on my plate and I'm trying to get everything done right away, but it's not that deep. But I be on go. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but that's what I'm doing. And I'm super proud of myself. And it's not just the photo shoot is for the website, but it's also for my YouTube channel. So it's gonna like change. It's not gonna change too much because I made sure that everything is the same as far as the vibes. But I just want to like share that with y'all. So yeah, we're gonna have a planner, we're gonna have a book, we're gonna have all types of stuff. I have all these different ideas and I'm just gonna put them all in play and in motion this summer. And then also this summer, I had this idea to be like an Amazon seller, right? An Amazon seller, like selling stuff on Amazon. Thought that was a good idea. I can do that this summer. We need to create different pathways of money. And here's the thing. So as you know, if you don't know, I'm a school librarian. Okay, boom. So I just found out, and see, this is like the other part. Like I never want to discount my intuition, my in the know, if you will. Because even if I have anxiety or whatever, I have a very innate sense of just knowing things, right? And so my district upper retired, and now my mentor is now over the thing. We find out that we're not getting the stipends that we got. So that means we're going to have a $1,000 pay decrease, you know. And I'm going to just be honest, with the, we on closing, but with the firing of the African American Library of Congress, baby girl, this is not a good time to be having this job, right? And just, I'm gonna keep it until they say we ain't got it no more. But this is what I'm talking about. Like when you see signs, you need to put things in place. I have felt the way that I felt for like 3 years. 3 years I've been feeling like, I don't know, I was like 28 and 31. Yeah, 3 years I was feeling something different. And so I'm sitting back and I'm just watching things happen. We're moving in our purpose. We're doing what we're supposed to do, right? We're doing what we're supposed to do, but now we see why we need to do what we need to do. Sometimes they tell you, and I'm gonna talk about this in my ancestral video, okay? I'm gonna save that one for last, but sometimes we get the solution before you even know it's a problem. They tell you, hey, I think you should go get on that bus. Go get in that boat. You don't know that there's a flood coming. You don't know. You feel something, but they're saying, hey, I need you to, because you never have to worry about this because we already hooked you up. We already told you what you need to do. If you do what we tell you to do, then you don't have to worry about the backlash. You understand? So you have to heed those warnings. You have to heed those messages. You have to, going back to the very first thing I told you in the beginning of the video, when you get a message, when you get something, you need to go ahead and handle that right away. We're going to talk about that in the spirituality thing, because you might be like, I might make a plan and it might not work. I don't deal with that. I deal with the plan will work. The play will, we're going to run the play, the way we're supposed to run the play. And when you run your play is going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work. Okay? If you ever like, oh, I don't think it's going to work. It's going to work. Okay? But it's 6:55. I see that we have been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. It's a little long, baby. I will see you in the next video. Okay? Thank you so much. And bye-bye.